looking.
I'm live. And there are 4 people here. Brian's already butthurt that my Wi-Fi password is showing in the preview pic. Hey guys! I was trying to raise my arm so you couldn't see the Wi-Fi password for that picture, but there it is. The good news is I haven't called DTC yet to get that port open, Brian, so nobody can hack my system. They'll just be really sad. But I am going to need to do that because next Thursday we're doing a webinar at noon. And I decided to answer a request from listeners, which is a property walk, which of course we do at the spring workshop. But yeah. Oh, wait. It's not like an actual live stream if you can't see my collection of thermostats, is it? Someday I'll have a really cool looking thermostat up there, and maybe one of them will actually control the climate in my house. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Robert. Hey, Neff.
This one does light up.
That one lights up. Wait, did the battery? Oh, see, that one lights up. Woo! Yeah, that's okay. You also forgot to bring me, Brian. You forgot to bring me a plant I could put in my aquaponics system. So next time you come out, I need some water hyacinth. So, if one of you could just remind people on social that we're live. So today I set a topic of find your purpose. And these two almost didn't come live stream. Why?
I haven't had time to think about it.
I totally sprung it on him 10 minutes ago. Why?
Oh no, I listened to your podcast. About 20 minutes ago last night.
Yeah,
it was
so
about
he
20
knew.
minutes ago you told me.
So why are you all chagrined about it?
Because I haven't thought about it before?
Yeah. I haven't gotten that far in life yet.
That requires a lot of deep thought.
Yeah, these two apparently don't want to think tonight. It's like cocktail hour. Cheers, everybody. And cheers, cheers. Boop. I've been looking forward to these Thursday live chats the whole time we've been shut in. But what was your first question? When I said it was find your purpose? He doesn't remember. Just make one up.
Think why?
He was like, why? Well, here's what got me thinking about it. So Josh Sloan wants his special purpose. Gonna need beer. Yeah, we are gonna need more beer for them to get through this. It's absolutely it's man brain. It might be man brain. I've heard a lot of people put things on hold because of shutdown and COVID. And you can't ignore the reality of stuff isn't open. And I almost said the other S word, but I haven't had enough cocktails to say the other S word.
We can fix that.
But if you find your purpose, you can keep moving forward. And half the time you find out the things you think you should not do, in air quotes, you can do anyway. Something that's been really inspiring to me are the side hustle working groups we've been doing, and how people kind of come in going, oh, what do I do? And they go out and they start doing stuff. Right, Carrie? Who thinks it's man brain? So here's the thing. There's no magic wand to finding your purpose. But if you start thinking about where you want to go and your big picture goal, I think you end up with a vision for your life. And when you have a vision for your life and something happens like all the stores close and you're told to stay home all the time and the data you're getting is really crappy and the media is reporting stuff so slanted you can't see through the spin. That's how bad this whole thing is. You start saying, but what is my purpose? Well, if this is my purpose and I can't control that, what can I do? And then you can go do it. And I think that's kind of cool. So then when people come up to me and say, I don't know how to find my purpose, I can ask a lot of questions, but I thought, well, what's your purpose?
Don't know.
Why not?
Don't know.
Why not?
I don't know.
Okay, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Don't know.
What's the scary part of that? Because you just say, I don't know, which doesn't mean anything. Why don't you know?
Haven't thought about it.
Why haven't you thought about it?
It takes effort.
What's wrong with effort?
And then it gives you something you actually have to commit to and follow through.
Ooh. So it's kind of scary to find your purpose. What's your purpose?
I don't know, but I like the teaching side of things. So it's why I like the YouTube side.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me a chance to show and demonstrate and do reviews and stuff like that.
Why do you like teaching?
I'm not really sure. I do know that it's something that I can be relatively good at. I've done a lot of it, and it's not something that I necessarily can say that I started out being good at it, but being in the military for as long as I was, I learned very well how to teach.
Okay. And then Leo says it's easier just to go through life. It is easier to just go through life. But sometimes that ends you up in not easier. So then you think about those of us who have decided I'm going to take control of some things and grow some food and store some food and practice pantry management and get out of debt and all the stuff that we're either starting to do or have done or never did in the first place, which is also kind of a good thing. A situation like this comes along, who's more ready to make it through all of the I don't know what that's about to happen? Somebody who's just going along, or somebody who's thought about what they want to do and be and accomplish? And Jen says you give too much power away if you don't know your purpose. Tactical's calmness helps his teaching a lot. That's from M. Also, you have earned the name Professor. We're going to get you we need to get you the wiry glasses. Where are your glasses?
They're at base camp.
He has glasses.
You're a professor now?
Apparently.
I'll make sure to have my glasses for the next one.
So Jenny says, for me personally with teaching, I have a wealth of knowledge and all the mistakes I've made, but also the discoveries. And I want to share that in my medium. And she's a musician. She did a great video yesterday, turning off all the lights on the stage because they're not going to get to perform this year because schools are shut down where she's at. That was a really emotional video, Jenny. Good job. Yeah. Oh, Leos is the professor. Sorry. Leos is the professor, not you. You need to teach more and more better.
Well, I mean, I do accuse of getting 3 college credits for every conversation you have with them. So
here's a good comment. M says, I've decided my current purpose is to help my children find their way to start jobs, in air quotes. That's kind of cool. And she has a daughter who decided to start trying to help people with meal planning, right, Em? Which is kind of awesome because a lot of people don't know how to cook. They know how to cook one thing sometimes, but they don't know how to go breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day of the week. And it's leading to stress, right?
It's still mind-boggling
to
me.
So anyway, and so helping her do that, and Em has a number of children from what I understand. She can do a lot of good in the world by helping her kids figure out what their jobs are.
If we're talking about the same M, I think. Oh.
Yeah. Tactical's an engineer, whether he admits it or not. So you can't say what your purpose is, but you know you like teaching. You don't like to think about what your purpose is because it makes you think?
A little bit.
Okay, so every time we do a project here, I'm like, let's do it this way. Do you know who analyzes the crap out of it and comes up with a better way? Do you know who that is? So, what do you like to do? Think about, to find your purpose, it's important to think about what you like to do.
Oh, am I supposed to answer that?
Yeah. Can you turn off, just hit cancel on it.
Nope.
I have dinner cooking in the oven, and I have the oven set to turn itself off, and it did, but now it's letting me know with an alarm. It's always fun how in these live streams, there's always the dogs come up and bark, or the neighbors stop by.
Apparently, we both lost that bet, though.
Yeah, he likes to engineer things. He likes to work with his hands. So, Nighthawk is happiest when he's working with his hands. And if we get a group of people together and we're just sitting around, eventually he just starts going off and doing something. So what have you started doing? What are you launching as your business?
A handyman business.
A handyman business. Totally makes sense. But then the bigger question is, what's your purpose? How do you want the world to be different when you die, when you croak, when you kick it? If you get coronavirus next month and die, what have you changed in the world?
You're really optimistic right now, aren't you?
You have asthma, man. Don't cough.
I'm more at risk than he is.
So I think
I guess one of the things I would like to say that once I do go, if I built something, it's still standing.
So he wants to leave something behind, right?
Yeah.
And when you croak, because it's when, not if, what do you want to have changed in the world?
I'm hoping that I've kind of empowered people to make their own lives better, if that makes sense, to put it as shortly as I can.
Mm-hmm. Jenny's pointing out you need to be vulnerable to really understand where you want to be.
Huh?
Yeah. So she says, I have this discussion with students all the time. It takes some self-discovery to figure it out. That's true. Jenny and everybody else, when you find your purpose, is it always just one thing for the rest of your life, or is it a journey? So I always thought my purpose was only one thing, but then Jack talked about polymaths, and I realized I do lots of things that could be under the umbrella of my general purpose. It's a journey. Yeah.
I can tap off of that too. And I mean, I like the teaching side. So for what I want to do with myself, I like the whole YouTube aspect, but for all the work that we do around here, like how many problems have we had with the goat recently?
0. Except for we need to trim our hooves tomorrow.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
you understand what I mean.
It's really sad. The goat has not been on my roof in months. It's good because she hasn't hurt herself on my roof, but
we can fix that.
The goat roof stories aren't as entertaining. He just built a pergola that I'm afraid she'll go walk on if she gets on the roof, though. So, yeah, so finding your purpose is a journey. And I think some people find their purpose. Like my purpose in life is to spark people to start something. That's what I do. I do it on my podcast. I do it with my coffee. I spark them to start their day. I do it with my website stuff, and I help them find that kernel that they're going to draw. That's my purpose. It's taken me, 47 years to figure this out. And if you ask me in 10 years, I'll probably tell you my purpose is something different. But I used to think my purpose was spreading liberty to the world. And before that, I thought my purpose was helping different cultures interact. So it's a journey, and you learn as you go. But I think at the core of my purpose has always been there. And I'm interested to see in 10 years what I think my purpose is.
She's also really good about sparking us to do stuff around here. We just got a pig, and now apparently got to get ready for chickens next week.
Next week already?
Yeah.
May 1st? Mayday chickens. So
there that memo.
And so did I.
Polymaths have no one thing. We're always trying to figure out what we do when we grow up. Yeah, I think if you really figure out what you're going to be when you grow up, you might have reached the end. You know what I mean?
Oh, wait. Does that mean I don't have my purpose because I haven't grown up yet and I refuse to?
I think thinking about your purpose on a regular basis would be good for you.
Great.
Look how Petey he looks. I mean, you started a handyman business, man.
Yeah, you only been pushing me to do that for 2 years?
Can you turn off that lamp, actually? I feel like the lighting will be better.
No, people might actually be able to see me easier.
Yeah, we have to put, the veil in front of Nighthawk's face. He has to be behind the fence. Oh, yeah, see, you can see us now. Just because you've picked a destination doesn't mean you've completed the journey. Absolutely true. Sometimes it's more about your mission statement. Your purpose can be fulfilled by doing all the tasks related to fulfilling the mission. So, guys, you can also ask us questions. I just thought it'd be interesting to talk to these two yahoos after they spent all day doing whatever, what their purpose was or how to find their purpose. Have you learned anything in this discussion?
I'm going to have to think.
He's a deep thinker, man. You don't know it. He's like the quiet guy in the corner. The quiet guy in the corner is always thinking. That's why when he's like, are you sure you want to build that pergola that way, Nicole? I usually listen to what he says because there's usually something there. Sometimes I say, no, I really want something this way. But a lot of times I'm like, yeah, that's actually a pretty good innovation, Nighthawk. So can we needle the boys some more because I think it makes them uncomfortable?
No.
Leos, you can do whatever you want. Couldn't be beard growing. I mean, like, this is the action you take, right? When you're thinking about your purpose, you stroke your beard.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. My beard's not growing very well right now. Is your job, what keeps the roof over your head, always part of your purpose from half? What do you guys think? Nighthawk.
It depends.
Depends on what?
It depends how much you like your job. It depends. Is that what you really want to do? Or is that something just to essentially pay the bills to cover what you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I come back to the one guy I met. He had a place that does, what is it, goat yoga?
Yeah.
That's Chad.
But he's also a software salesman. And even though the goat yoga brings in a decent amount of money, his basic argument for walking away and from selling and doing the goat yoga full time is they pay him basically a stupid amount of money to sell stuff.
Yeah, Eric says, wasn't goat yoga really his wife's thing? Yeah, so he has a farm and a permaculture farm, and they do horses, and that all makes money. But he makes so much money at his job, which is not fulfilling his purpose, that money helps him fulfill his purpose. And so, no, I don't think you have to have that in your job. Em says that you need to think about your purpose more because she makes all her kids have a purpose. And I think you just became one of her children because she has so many and she can always add one more. So you're going to need to tell Em your purpose next week. She's like, it can change. But you got to have a purpose, right, Em? You need one more child, right?
The question
Thanks,
is,
Em.
where does he go into
What's
birth
his
numbers?
number? You're on deathbed. What legacy do you want to leave behind? That's a great question, Brian. It's a difference between a job and a career. And actually, sometimes your career is not your purpose. Like my first career gave me the skills I need to have now, but I don't do what I did. I don't do executive training very much anymore, but it gave me the skills to do what I do now. So I'm thankful for it. And I love doing it at the time. The job is the job part of your purpose because it stays off bill collectors and starvation? A very important question. Or is it just a means to an end? Yeah.
Okay. So I was going to chime in a second ago. Like, I made some choices in my life that may not have been the best choices, but they've led me to where I'm at now. And one of the things that enables me to do currently is not have to do anything because I have a check coming in every month. Whether or not I do anything or not, I have a check coming in. So, I mean, I think that's one of those things that you can take it a couple of different directions. So with the job aspect of it, I made my choices. I get to live with the consequences, but I also get to live with the benefits.
Does Nighthawk become number one, or does he go to the end of the line, Em? That's what I really want to know.
It's going to screw up the entire numbers scale. And I'm going to blame you for this for all eternity.
That's fine.
Yeah, and Leo says that's my point. Brian's saying, like, what difference do you want to leave behind to humanity? Yes, that's an important question.
But don't worry, Tactical. With you not having a regular job, that means I have access to labor.
Do you have a regular job?
That's a matter of opinion.
But that means I have access to an extra set
Hey,
of
let's
hands
build
when
a
I need it now.
hydroponic system and do a webinar on it today.
If you ask the federal government, I am currently unemployed. If you ask other people around here, I'm like
Full time.
3 full-time jobs.
Not yet.
It keeps you focused. That's good for your purpose is that you need to be focused. Okay, Jen says, what did she say? Jen, you said something really, I think being open to experience things with curious mind can help you discover your purpose. Good point. Go do stuff. Go try stuff. Go learn something new. It's amazing what you can do. Jen, it gives your purpose a chance to discover you, that too. So a lot of times when people are asking me, like, how do I find my passion, which is really pretty much the same thing, I'm like, go do a bunch of stuff and you'll figure it out. And then you'll decide if it's something you build into a job or if it's something you build into a hobby. Like, I'm pretty sure canning food is not what I want my full-time job to be, but I love canning food. Like, I had a really traumatic summer and I canned a lot of food, right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, every time they walk in, I'm like, look, more salsa. So it's like my stress relief. Well, if I had to do that every day, it would become my stress. Like, sometimes I love roasting coffee, but sometimes roasting coffee, I'm like, tomorrow's going to be one of those days because I have a big corporate order. And I still love doing it, but that's going to be one of those days of work rather than, one of those days that's joyous because I really need to get 108 bags of coffee out tomorrow, which is going to be a really fun day.
And guess who she asked to help package all those 100 bags of coffee?
You have to wear a beard cover.
That makes it big.
They do. You don't want beard hair in your coffee. I'm just saying. Okay.
Oh, come on, that's flavor.
Okay, they introduced the concept. I'm pushing them to define it, imposing my definition on them. What are you talking about? Besides, blah, ha, 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 ha. See, the words are tiny on this thing, so sometimes I dismiss stuff. For tactical's sake, let's just say he's number 10 or number 0. 0!
0.
Brilliant! Emma's brilliant. Okay. When I was thinking through purpose earlier this year, I decided I'd choose the guidance principles. 1, care of myself. 2, work together in nature. And 3, always work to gain and share knowledge. That's a good way to do it. Jenny says, I think we need the side things, though. It's good to yeah. So even when you're pursuing your purpose, I think you need to play. If you're not still playing.
That's what Selfish Sunday is about, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You can do it more than one day a week, though. But, you still need to explore. Homestead Glamour says, been there. Sometimes a big butter order is inconvenient. Yeah. Yeah, especially right now when all our hands are all cracked from washing them. Her body butters are great. Hey, by the way, Salima, I think somebody wants to order your body butters and doesn't know how. So we need to get up on that, and I'll say it on my podcast tomorrow because for some reason there's a disconnect, so let me know. A lot of people. Meanwhile, the professor wants to know, what is the definition of purpose? I'll let you guys define it. Sometimes when I'm feeling rootless, I just decide my purpose is to just make everyone I meet that day smile. That's really fun, Hat. And yeah. Brian says, I thought we should stop with Selfish Sunday. Hey, I had a whole Sunday in bed with a novel this weekend. Bourbon might have been involved. Mm-hmm.
Not Sunday, it wasn't.
No, or Monday or Tuesday. Thank you. So any other questions you have of us, guys? It doesn't have to be on purpose. I just like to have a topic for these so we start talking about something. Yeah. Salima says, don't stop the Selfish Sunday stuff. Absolutely true. Even if you can't do it, like this weekend, it's going to be rainy Saturday, and it's going to be awesome on Sunday. So I personally would rather do all the outside work.
You might want to check the weather
on
again.
Sunday. Well, whatever. So if it's great on Sunday and crappy on Saturday, I might have a Selfish Saturday this weekend just because. It's, sometimes you just have to flex. Is it your purpose if it's a chore?
Could be.
That could be, sometimes working towards your purpose is work, and it might feel like a chore. Like this week, of my own making, and I have a second one of these of my own making that I'm dealing with this week. I did a coaching call a month ago. And I did the write-up within a day of the call. With the key to coaching, to give people their summary, and then you have next steps, and then you move on. And the person emailed me a month later and said, when am I getting that summary? And I said bad words. Oh, okay. And then I went and looked for the document to send to him, and it was like, I don't know where I filed it. I don't know what I did. I have a very vivid memory. And luckily, when I do coaching calls, I record them. I had to go back and watch the whole call, which took an hour and a half, and then rewrite the whole summary. And I have one other, and like, that's when, but like working with people like that is my purpose. And when I do it right, it's fine. It kind of turned into a chore this week. Not that I'm negative about that person or the thing. I'm just like really irritated with myself for misfiling the document. And one of these days I'll be cleaning off my computer and I'm going to find that document and I'm going to curse a little bit more because it was of my own making. So, you know, I think it can become work to work towards your purpose. And I think when you have your purpose defined really well,
and
the work is worth it.
I'll tap in on that one as well.
But you got to push through. That's your purpose helps you push through.
I spent a long time in search and rescue, and getting a boat underway is annoying, to say the least, especially when you get in bed, go to sleep, and 10 minutes later you get woken up. Hey, dude, there's a boat out there, and I can't figure out where they're at. So you get up, you figure out where they're at, you get a boat underway, you go out there, you go get them, you drag them back in, you get them tied up, then you got to go get your boat tied back up, and you got to wash your boat, and you got to fuel your boat. But like I always told all of our guys, you get 2 paychecks a month to get a boat underway. This is what we're out here for. We're here for search and rescue. It's our bread and butter. It's our mission. This is our purpose in life when we're at work, is to go out there and save people. So when you got to get a boat underway at 1 o'clock in the morning, well, it sucks, but it's the job. It's what we do.
Yeah, Jen Hill says, I always associate purpose with something that gives a gratifying end result, even if it's challenging or hard. Yeah. Working towards your purpose it's like freedom ain't easy. It's easy, but I'm sorry. Freedom ain't hard, but it takes work, right? Staying disciplined to freedom principles, that's the work. The logic behind understanding what the freedom solution to this is not hard. It's very simple. That's why it's so hard to defend, because people who are anti-freedom have spent a lot of intellectual power figuring out why a top-down approach to controlling our lives is necessary and moral. The problem is they're immoral, which is why they had to set up complex mental gymnastics to justify their opinion, right? But then when you're like, yeah, but that's not moral because people should be able to make their own decisions and control themselves if they're not hurting anybody else. They're like, well, that's too simple. That's not right. And then they have to argue with you. I think when you find your purpose, it will change throughout your life for most people. And B, you're going to have to work for it. That's the thing. And that's maybe why he doesn't want to do it, because he doesn't want to work for it. Although he works really hard, so I don't know why he wouldn't want to work for his purpose.
Some of those conversations with those types of people are fun, though.
Yep. Brian says everything will be better when he's king. Let's see. Word. I got a word. Word! Okay. What other questions you guys have? If you pick one, you are boxed in for a while. Maybe.
Maybe not.
Depends.
Pick one what?
Purpose.
Oh.
M thinks you might be afraid of commitment. But since you're child 0, she'll help you through this, right,
No,
Em?
he was child 0.
No,
No,
you're child 0.
You're child 0.
I thought she said
That's Uncle.
practical
That's
was
Uncle.
child-
No, Because every one of her children has to have a purpose. So now you have to have a purpose.
I'm Uncle Tactical.
He's Uncle Tactical. I'm just the crazy lady who makes them both harvest and eat sweet potatoes when they come visit, right, Em?
Does that make me
Wait a minute. Does that mean I have to start calling you Uncle Tactical now?
Yes.
Could it be that Nighthawk is a polymath?
I don't even know what that is.
Did you listen to that episode yet?
Which episode?
Of Jack's.
He's catching up from like
It's a
5
different.
years
It's not
ago.
my podcast, which I know you guys all know that my podcast is awesome. No, it's Jack did an episode on polymath.
He's like 5 years
Was
behind.
it sometime like 9 months past or something like that?
Okay, so he's behind. No, he hasn't heard that, so we'll make him listen to that while we're working on aquaponics and hydroponics. Hat says, only if it's a long-term purpose. You can have a purpose for a day, and it can be an important one. Yeah, a long-term purpose is what you should be looking for. Like, what is the thing you give to the world? And, you know, you get something back for that too, right? It's kind of funny. I provide you coffee. Yeah, I am the coffee lady at her house. Yes, Leonardo da Vinci was a polymath. Do you know much about him?
A little bit. I'm still trying to
We're
figure out what a
totally doing
polymath is.
documentaries on the TV this week. That's just the way it goes. Differing interests, and you become skilled in different disciplines. Multiple.
Okay.
Just
I'm
accept
still
it when I say
confused.
that you're a polymath.
We'll
I'm
just,
confused.
we'll make you see. You don't
I know
want
you're
to. You
confused.
confuse
won't
the
be for
Nighthawk.
long.
Yeah.
You're a polymath. You can't be that confused for that long.
Yeah.
Is that a
Okay.
good thing?
Any other questions, guys, before we wrap up? They want to know what your purpose is.
I haven't had that for yet.
Do you have any inkling of what it might be?
Maybe.
What might it be? We won't make you stick to it.
I'll report back next week.
You don't want to say what it might be? Why not?
Don't want to. I'll report back
Here's
next
what I
week.
know about Nighthawk. When he doesn't want to, he doesn't. He doesn't. What's the cocktail of the day? Yeah, handymen probably are polymaths. You know, every handyman I've known has an intellectual side too, even though they're working with their hands. And people think handymen are very, like, not intellectual. Not true.
Those two things go hand.
Yeah, because you have to be able to troubleshoot and think through things. People, like, oversimplify that profession.
I've had a number of things that it's like if you weren't an intellectual, you would have been there banging your head against the wall for weeks.
These three are lighthouse keepers. I don't really have to see them working to know they're in the job. The effects speak for themselves. Yep. And then, why do you get out of bed in the morning? He's trying to help you. Cocktail of the hour is a tequila with lemon.
Oh, that's easy. For coffee.
Coffee?
Why get out of bed in the morning?
Oh,
For
coffee.
coffee.
His purpose is coffee. That's why he lives next door to me.
That's the only reason I moved here.
What's in there?
4 roses.
Okay. What do you got in there?
Just can of
Yingling.
beer.
Yeah. You want all three of us to answer what? Why we get out of bed in the morning? I already told you earlier. I spark people to start things. So I got up this morning and my schedule on Thursday through next week is totally crazy because in a fit of overscheduling myself, I decided that Thursday at 9:00 is a really good time to have a side hustle call. And then I'll do a webinar at noon, and then I do this live stream at 7. And in between there, I get other stuff done. So what got me out of bed this morning was that I knew I got to do all of those 3 things, and that usually helps other people start things.
So I got up early this morning, earlier than I wanted to this morning, because I had to drive to Coronavirusville to try to find a part to finish her hydroponic
Yeah.
system. So I got up early so I could get into town and then be back to do the webinar on that, and then whatever else, and then this live stream.
Yeah.
Looking forward to bed tonight.
Did you get out of bed this morning yet?
I walked out about 6:30,
Yeah.
and then I went back to bed.
Brian says, did you even ask if I maybe had the part? No, because you're a longer drive than the plumbing store. I get out of bed in the morning to tame the wolves and have a coffee. Yeah. Em gets out of bed and they ask her what's for breakfast, even if she's already told them what's for breakfast, apparently. I would guess that taking care of your animals would get you out of bed. It does do that too. Although not always. I've trained my animals not to be early risers on purpose. But I get up between 6 and 7 usually. Yeah, you may be COVID-19 free, but you're like a 2.5 hour drive away. Any other questions?
Ask anything.
Ask us anything.
Let's do a lightning round. They have to come up with like 5 questions.
No, they don't. I mean, we are at the end of time, although we can talk as long as we want, so whatever.
How time is it?
This thing was supposed to go for an hour.
No, it goes for half an hour.
Oh, we've been going longer than that.
Yeah, that's okay. I just go as long until it like dries up. Choose a song that sums up your week. That's great.
Oh.
Everybody's working for the weekend. How about you?
I'm not that much of a music person. She's a musician.
What do you got?
Nothing.
There's no song that sums up your week?
Nope.
You could ask me like
You can just say the song. You don't have to sing it.
Still don't know it right now.
You don't?
Nope.
I'm one of those people that's like, you know, this song. Nope. Never heard it. No, it was by like this person. You never heard
No,
of
Dean
them.
in Denver. You guys should tell us your songs too. Crazy Train. Yep. Crazy Train's a good one. That was kind of his week. Although he probably has some heavy metal song that fits better. Righteous Path. You got nothing?
Mm-mm.
The way you stump these guys is you ask them questions like that with no warning. It's why I gave him 20 minutes to talk about purpose, although apparently he knew since yesterday. Okay, guys. Thanks for joining the live chat. We're going to go cook seafood for dinner tonight. We have cod.
Cod.
I have cod.
It was written on the bag.
It was written on the back. So way back when, at the store, you know, when you went to the store in March and everybody was like flipping out buying toilet paper, I went to the seafood section and bought some seafood because I was like, you know, I don't keep seafood in my freezer and I really like seafood. And, you know, it's kind of fun I have an uncle who's a fisherman in Alaska, so I've been meaning to buy a box from him for like 5 years. I haven't done it. So there was cod, there were shrimp, and there were salmon that were actually wild salmon and not farmed wild salmon from the Atlantic Ocean. Just don't even bother eating salmon from the Atlantic Ocean, just saying. And tonight I thought, well, let's have a treat. So we're going to do seafood and shrimp, and I'm going to make some cocktail sauce. And he cut up the sweet potatoes to roast. And we're going to have a big old salad from the hydro system and some broccoli microgreens that I dropped on the floor today during the webinar. Because that's how the webinar went. Actually, it was pretty good, but I did seriously drop my microgreens on the floor. It was kind of hilarious. And they were already like looking a little sad, like I better eat them today. And it was just like, thoop. But I thought, well, that just seals it. So anyway, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Thursday. We're doing these weekly at 7 p.m. through April. And then we're going to reduce the frequency, I think. So, but we'll see. I don't know. We might keep it weekly. Time will tell. Anyway, guys, cheers. Make it a great week.